Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैवं नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। So we are reading from the second canto, chapter 4, entitled The Process of Creation, text 16. Vichakshana yacharanopasadana Sangam vyudasyo bhayato antaratmanaha Vindanti hi brahma gatim gataklamas Tasmai subhadra shravase namo namaha Vichakshanaya charano pasadana Sangam vyudasyo bhayato antaratmana Vindanti hi brahma gatim gataklamas Tasmai subhadra shravase namo namaha Vichakshanaya charanopasadana Sangam vyudasyo bhayato antaratmanaha विन्दन्ति हि ब्रह्मगतिं गताक्लम तस्मै सुभद्राश्रवसे नमो नमः ब्रह्मगतिं गताक्लम तस्मै सुभद्राश्रवसे नमो नमः चरणोपसादना संगम व्युडास्यो भयतोऽन्तरात्मना ब्रह्मगतिं गतक्लम तस्मै सुभद्राश्रवसे नमो नमः। माताजी, विचक्षणाय चरणोपसादना संगम व्युडास्यो भयतोऽन्तरात्मनः विन्दन्ति ब्रह्मगतिं गताक्लम तस्मिन् सुभद्राश्रवसे नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So word to word meaning on repetition. Vichakshanaha, highly intellectual. Yet whose? Charana upasadanat, simply dedicating oneself unto his lotus feet. Sangam, attachment. Vyudasya, giving up completely. Ubhayataha, for present and future existence. Antah Atmanaha, of the heart and soul, Vindanti, moves progressively. He certainly, Brahmagatim, towards spiritual existence, Gataklamaha, without difficulty, Tasmai, onto him, Subhadra, all auspicious, Shravase, unto one who is heard, Namaha, my due obeisances, Namaha, again and again. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charananda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Let me offer my respectful obeisances again and again unto the all auspicious Lord Sri Krishna, the highly intellectual, simply by understanding unto His lotus feet, are relieved of all attachment at present and future existence, and without difficulty progress towards spiritual existence. Purport. Lord Krishna has repeatedly instructed Arjuna, or for that matter, everyone concerned with becoming his unalloyed devotee. In the last phase of his instruction in Bhagavad Gita, 18.64 to 66, he instructed most confidentially as follows. Sarvagoyatamam bhuyah shrunu me paramam vachaha ishtosi me dridam miti tato vyakshami te hitam manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuro mame vaishasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchah. My dear Arjuna, you are very dear to me, and therefore only for your good I will disclose the most secret part of my instructions. It is simply this, because it is simply this: become a pure devotee of mine and give yourself unto me only, and I promise you full spiritual existence, by which you may gain the eternal right of transcendental loving service unto me. Just give up all other ways of religiosity and exclusively surrender unto me, and believe that I will protect you from your sinful acts, and I shall deliver you. Do not worry anymore. Persons who are intelligent take serious note of this last instruction of the Lord. Knowledge of the self is the first step in spiritual realization, which is called confidential knowledge. And a step further is God realization, which is called more confidential knowledge. The culmination of the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is God realization. And when one attains this stage of God realization, he naturally, voluntarily becomes a devotee of the Lord to render him loving transcendental service. This devotional service to the Lord is always based on love of God and is distinct from the nature of routine service as prescribed in Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Dhyana Yoga. In the Bhagavad Gita, there are different instructions for such men of different categories, and there are various descriptions for Varnashrama Dharma, Sannyas Dharma, Yati Dharma, the renounced order of life, controlling the senses, meditation, performing perfection of mystic powers, etc. But one who fully surrenders unto the Lord to render service unto Him out of spontaneous love for Him factually assimilates the essence of all knowledge described in the Vedas. One who adopts this method very skillfully attains perfection of life at once, and this perfection of life is called Brahmagati, or progressive march in spiritual existence. As enunciated by Srila Jiva Goswami on the basis of Vedic assurances, Brahmagati means to attain a spiritual form as good as that of the Lord, and in that form, the liberated living being eternally lives on one of the spiritual planets situated in the spiritual sky. Attainment of this perfection of life is easily available to a pure devotee of the Lord without his undergoing any difficult method of perfection. Such a devotional life is full of kirtanam, smaranam, ikshanam, etc. As mentioned in the previous verse, one must therefore adopt this simple way of devotional life in order to attain the highest perfection available in any category of the human form of life in any part of the world. When Lord Brahma met Lord Krishna as a playful child at Vrindavan, he offered his prayer in which he said, Shreya Shrutim Bhakti Mudasyate Vibho Klishyanti Ye Kevala Bodha Labhyate Teshamasau Kleshala Eva Shishyate Nanyadyatha Stulatu Savaghatinam. Bhakti Bhagavatam 10:14-4. Bhakti Yoga is the highest quality of perfection to be achieved by intelligent person in lieu of performing a large quantity of spiritual activities. The example cited here is very appropriate. A handful of real paddy is more valuable than heaps of paddy skins without any substance within. Similarly, one should not be attracted by jugglery of karmakand or gyanakand or even the gymnastic performance of yoga, but skillfully should take to the simple performances of kirtanam, smaranam, etc. under a bona fide spiritual master, and without any difficulty, attain the highest perfection. I'd like to seek the blessings of all the senior Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis to share something on the instruction of the devotees for the glorification of the Lord. So today we are discussing from the second canto, chapter 4, entitled The Prose of Creation, text 16. In the beginning of this chapter, Parikshit Maharaj asked some questions to Sukadeva Goswami, and Sukadeva Goswami, in answers to those questions, just before he answers, he is offering his obeisances or respects to the Lord, and this is one of the prayers which Sukadeva Goswami offers to the Lord in by mentioning that he is paying obeisances again and again and all that. So today let us see how Lord Krishna is the summum bonum of everything, and when we understand the nature of the Lord, then surrendering onto him becomes very easy, right? So we will see a couple of pastimes in that regard, and we will see what Prabhupada has mentioned in the pastime, in the purport over here. So the Lord is completely divine. We know that from the Brahma Samhita also. Shri Shri Jagannath Bodhiswami ki jai, Shri Shri Gaurangi Bangaloreshwar ki jai, Shri Shri Gauranitai ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So we know that all limbs of the Lord are very, very divine. So if we actually take in the pastime of Kalayavan, how actually Kalayavan was trying to chase in the Lord. Kalayavan was running, but Krishna was walking. His walking was more faster than Asura Kalayavan's running. So we can actually see the glory of Krishna's walking. Or even if we take the feet of Krishna, Ahilya, who was actually a stone, when Krishna kept his lotus feet on Ahilya, even that stone got liberated actually. So that is the beauty of Krishna's feet. So when the Lord puts his feet on someone, even they get liberated. One more example which comes to my mind is that of Kaliya. It is pretty interesting to note in Vrindavan, when Kaliya was, the Lord was dancing on Kaliya's hoods, Kaliya got a lot of damage on his head, because it was the Lord's lotus feet is as strong as a thunderbolt for the demons and as soft as lotus for his devotees. So when the Lord was dancing on Kaliya, it was as if big thunderbolts were hitting his head. And in that due course, when the Lord was dancing, there were cracks on the head of portions of Kaliya's body, But at the end, after the whole dance performance was over and the Kaliya actually got purified, the Lord spoke to Kaliya. Did it hurt? Was it too hard? And he actually told, don't mind, because of your poison, many of the Vrajavasis were getting affected. And that is why I actually had to do this. So I hope you're okay with this now. And then he said, yeah, I'm okay, because now I'll also be saved by Garuda, because your lotus feet is there on my head. So this shows how Krishna is Priyamvada, which means what? He's a very, very sweet talker. Even his enemies, he actually purifies and he engages in his service, which we can see in Kaliya. And Kaliya told, anytime you want any joyride, you can call me. I'll come back here and then I'll actually give all of your friends and yourself a ride. So that is Krishna's nature. Coming to Krishna's lips, if you see in the pastime of Putana, he actually sucked the life air out of Putana. a lady who came to kill Krishna, he gave such a fantastic destination of a dhatri or an assistant nurse in the spiritual world to her. So that is Krishna's nature. See, someone even by mistake or like say on purpose hits us or wants to harm us. We want to see that that person is taken care of. But in case of Krishna, someone came to kill him, but he gave that person such a destination. So his two lips also liberated Putana. That is the glory of Krishna's lips. And we can also see when Krishna entered the mouth of Aghasur, Aghasur's mouth was not so fragrant before Krishna entered. Yeah? So it was like a big cave, and then actually the cowherd boys thought Aghasur's mouth to be a cave, and they entered. And after Krishna entered, it is pretty interesting to note that the fragrance which was coming in from the mouth, not the fragrance, the bad smell, was actually turned into a fragrance. That is because of Krishna's presence inside his body. That was the greatness. So that is Krishna's presence. So we can see even from Brahma Samhita, Anga niyasya sakalendriya vritti manti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti ananda chinmaya jagat ujvalasya govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. You can see that Krishna, as any limb, can perform any of the activities. That is greatness of Krishna. Sometimes people ask, Prabhuji, how Krishna can eat? Well, I can eat only with my mouth, but Krishna can eat through his eyes also. That is the glory of Krishna, right? So, and by glory of his holy name. See, we are discussing about Krishna, right? So we saw different bodily parts of Krishna. His holy name is so powerful. Once I was going in an apartment, we had a program in Janmashtami. We were going in near Sarjapur. Big apartments are there. So at the entrance of the apartment, they stopped me. Kai, what happened? Then I told the name and the flat number of the owner. After I told the name and flat number of the owner, they immediately allowed me in the apartment. So I was thinking that just by taking the name of the owner, I was able to enter the apartment. But if we take Krishna's name, actually we get entry to Golok or Vaikuntha. That is the glory of Krishna's name. Even in Ramayana, Tulsidas writes that the entire essence of Ramayana, if we have to say, is to show the power of the holy name. You can see the rocks floated when Krishna or Lord Ram's holy name were written on the rocks and thrown in the ocean. Sita was able to stay in separation, so to say, the separation from Lord Ram, only because she was chanting the names of Lord Ram. There's one more pastime which comes. This is in Padma Puran. Once there was Lord Ram was doing not the Ratsu Yagna, one Ashwamedha Yagna. So all of us know what happens in Ashwamedha Yagna. There's a horse which is sent by the king to, all over the world, and all the kings have to accept the authority of that particular person who is sending the Ashwamedha, Ashwa, this is the horse, yeah. And if you disagree to accept that person as the king and give all his wealth, all your wealth to him, then you'll have to fight. So along with the horse comes the army. So Lord Ram had sent this Ashwa along with Shatrughna. Shatrughna was the person who was leading Lord Ram's army in this regard. So Shatrughna along with his entire army went along with the Ashwa. But the interesting part was they didn't have any service only for a long time. Because wherever the Ashwa went, immediately the king, they said, Lord Ram, yes, please take all our wealth, please take our kingdom, we accept Lord Ram as our king. So for a long time, the devotees were searching for service, fighting, we are just walking, After a long time, they found a small kingdom where the king stopped the horse. He said, no, I do not accept Lord Ram as the king. He said, whoa, this small, many big kings have given up their kingdom. Who is this small guy? So this king's name was Veeramala. So this Veeramala, he said, I don't accept Lord Ram as king. I am ready to fight. Shatrughna said, yes, so now your service begins. Prabhus, please come. They called all the soldiers and they had a huge war with this king and his kingdom. It is pretty interesting to note, Shatrughna was defeated along with his entire army, almost at the verge of defeat, by this one king of a small kingdom. And when Shatrughna was just, the sword, the king removed the sword, and then Shatrughna saw all over the place, it's filled with blood. All the soldiers are actually, most of them are actually dead. And then he saw Hanuman walking by. And Hanuman is a very transcendental personality, we know. He's always chanting the Lord's holy name, Ram, Ram, Ram. So he saw Hanuman chanting. Shatrughna called, hey Hanuman, You're chanting Lord Ram's name. You know what has happened? Look at this battle. We are just about to lose. Your Lord Ram is about to lose the battle. Then Hanuman got into his, my Lord Ram is going to lose. I'm going to get into the fight. So actually Hanuman got into the fight. And it was interesting to note how this king was able to defeat Shatrugna. What audacity he had to fight Lord Ram's army. So the story goes like this, that in the past, this king was a very, very great devotee of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva was so pleased with him that the moment he used to perform any sacrifice, Lord Shiva would personally come and give him benedictions. And one such time, he asked for a benediction that no matter what, I should not be defeated by anyone. Lord Shiva said, Tatastu. So that's how he had the audacity to fight, and he actually was about to defeat. Now in this case, when Hanuman fought, Hanuman defeated this king. This king could not believe that a monkey defeated me, because Lord Shiva has given me the benediction. What was the benediction? No one can defeat you. So he went back to Lord Shiva. Oh my Lord, Lord Shiva is a fantastic personality. Bhagavatam also describes a lot about him. There's a Rudragita also in Bhagavatam, and many glories of Lord Shiva described. So when Lord Shiva, it is interesting to note, Lord Shiva is very, very easily pleased. That's why he's called Ashutosh. At the same time, he gets agitated also very fast. So this Prabhu, or this person, Virmala, the king, he went to Lord Shiva and said, you know what? Your benediction does not work. Why? I got defeated. By whom? A monkey. He said, really? I will fight the monkey now. I will fight. So Lord Shiva got into the battle. So now Lord Shiva came back and is fighting with Hanuman. And Lord Shiva fought very hard. Now it's interesting to note that Hanuman also is a part of Shakti Tattva of Lord Shiva only. But this time, when Hanuman fought Shiva, Hanuman was able to defeat Lord Shiva. Now Shiva was like, my God, how did he defeat? And this Virmala asked, you also, my Lord, you got defeated? How is that? Then Lord Shiva told, actually I noticed, while Hanuman was fighting, he was constantly chanting Ram, 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 Ram. So this is the power of chanting the holy names in a proper mood. So when we actually chant the holy names of the Lord in a proper mood of submissive service and surrender to the Lord actually protects. Of course, Hanuman was not chanting so that Lord Ram protects him, but he was chanting out of spontaneous affection for the Lord. So this was the secret, how Hanuman was able to win over even Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva told Hanuman that, Lord Shiva told Viramala, yes, we are defeated. Now, after this, what happens in the next episode of this? Now, a lot of soldiers have actually died, right? They are dead. Now Hanuman said, I have done this service before also. When? Sanjeevani, So I will get the Sanjeevani booty. Please, Lord Shiva, you stay here until I come back, so that they don't do the Antim Samskar of these people. I'll come back. I'll just quickly go and come back. Lord Shiva said, Arey, this entire pastime we have enacted to show the power of the holy name. So why don't you go and chant in their ears? If by chanting you were able to win a battle with me, don't you think that by chanting you can wake them up also? Said, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm sorry. So Hanuman actually goes and he whispers Ram, Ram, Ram in the ears of all of these soldiers, and all of these soldiers are back to the life. That is the power of chanting the holy names in a proper mood. So this is what we see. That is, and even in case of Lord Krishna, we were discussing, he's a Samam Bonam. So Samam Bonam consists of three things. What are three things? The first thing is Shuddham. Shuddham is what? The Lord is antiseptic. Means what? He removes the impurities. So there are no amount of sins what one can commit that the Lord cannot remove. So that is the glory of the Lord. The Lord, when the devotee turns towards him, the devotee wants to express his desire to serve the Lord is more eager to take the devotee back than the devotee also. That is the Lord's nature. Then he is apapa viddham. Means what? He is actually prophylactic. So first we discussed about antiseptic. Prophylactic is what? Like say, for example, if you take a medicine for a disease, the medicine cures the disease and the disease does not come back again. So the Lord is such a great personality, even if a devotee approaches him with material desire, he purifies the devotee of the material desire and he gives the devotee that material desire also. When he is confident that will not harm him. That is the glory of Lord Krishna. And the relationship between the Lord and his devotees are very, very nice. Even let us see some examples in our current times only, just recently, Prabhupada disciples. There was one Prabhupada disciple, his name was, his Holiness Sridhar Swami Maharaj, Sridhar Swami Maharaj, actually, at the last stage of his life, he got a very terrific disease. And in that disease, what happened? His stomach bulged up. So when the doctor was checking his stomach, that time, Sridhar Swami Maharaj actually saw towards the doctor. He asked the doctor, "Doctor, is it a boy or is it a girl?" Like that he asked. He was actually joking even in that condition. And then the doctor actually started laughing. He was completely fearless. Why? Because he had surrendered on to the lotus feet of the Lord, which is being discussed in this translation. When one surrenders onto the lotus feet of the Lord, then all attachments at the present and future existence without difficulty can easily be given up. That is the glory of the Lord. Surdas, we all know, we have heard in our childhood also, we might have read about Surdas's devotion or poems or dohe or whatever. So in case of Surdas, we know that he was actually blind. He didn't have eyes, the material chakshu to see. So one day what happened, Surdas was actually doing bhajans. He was a very, very fantastic personality who used to sing with utmost devotion to the Lord. So he used to sing with harmonium and many other instruments. The devotees used to assist him. So one day he went in front of the Lord and he started singing the glories of the Lord. 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12, the whole day went. And the nature of this world eventually, like say, as the time progresses, people are not able to keep up that spirit of what he had to do kirtanam. Eventually, people left 9 a.m., 10 a.m., by 9 p.m., people left. He was continuing till 2 a.m. in the night. He was continuously doing bhajan. He was so absorbed in the bhajan of the Lord. Now, after 2 a.m., what happened? He realized, okay, I think it's time up now, and no one is around me, so I should also go back. So 2 a.m. he went back. He had some idea how to go back to his home. But since he was blind, he was not able to see much, and at time he actually hit something. So then that time in the night, at 2 a.m., one small boy comes and catches his hand. And then he says that, Baba, where are you going? And then Surdas says, actually, I'm going back home. I got a little late. Then he said, okay, I'll drop you home. So this boy actually drops Surdas to his home. And when he drops Surdas to his home, Surdas asks him, who are you? Where do you stay? What is your address? Then the boy runs away. And the moment the boy runs away, Surdas understands. Who was that? Actually, Krishna, who came all the way. And then he says, Krishna, you ran away from my physical presence. But how will you run away from my heart? That you can never run away. So that is the glory of the Lord and the devotees. The Lord, Krishna, is imprisoned in the heart of his devotees. See, Krishna is the property of his devotees. So that is what we can see, the loving exchange between him and the devotees. Even in case of Mujukunda, we were discussing. When Kalayavan actually came running behind the Lord actually walked into the cave. Muchukunda had done so much service to the Lord that after a lot of service, he was very tired. And then he asked for a break in terms of, actually what had happened is he had done a lot of service to the demigods. Every time the demigods were in trouble, the demons were attacking the demigods would actually call upon Muchukunda. Because Muchukunda was a very, very great king. He was a very fantastic fighter and he was able to defeat even the asuras, which even the demigods were not able to do at that time. So, for many years, thousands of years, he had been fighting for the demigods. And when the time came, when the demigods told, we'll offer you a benediction, please ask for one. And that time he said, I just want a little rest. Sometimes we have this experience when you have tremendous amount of service. Say, previous day some festival is there, you actually sleep too late in the night, then you get up in the morning for morning program also. And after morning program, you're asked, what do you want, Prabhu? You just show me the Muchukunda room or just get me some rest. So Muchukunda was very, very tired after doing thousands of years of seva to the demigods. So then, when the benediction was asked, he said, I just want to take rest. And now what happened? If I want to take rest and anyone who disturbs me, they should be burnt immediately, Because he was fearful that again Indra will come. Again he will sleep, again he'll come and Prabhu, again one more seva is there, So then he thought, I don't want to be disturbed now. I want to just, just a little rest for a while. So then that time he got his benediction and he was taking rest in this cave, was sleeping. And Kalayavan entered, So Kalayavan was chasing Krishna and he thought Krishna came in this cave and he was sleeping, So that time Kalayavan kicked Muchukunda, thinking him to be Krishna. And then Muchukunda saw that, and then I think there's a PPT, if you saw that, there's a PPT in that, you can see the photo also. So how he burnt Kalayavan, and Krishna is watching. This shows that if we have done the homework of serving the Lord, and even if you are sleeping, the Lord will wake you up and give darshan. We can see that. That is the glory of the Lord. Even if a devotee forgets what seva he had done for the Lord will never forget what seva a devotee has done for him. Neha bikrama nashosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam apyasya dharmasya tarayate mahato bhayat. So even a little service done to the Lord never forgets. That is the glory of the Lord, So even in case of Mujukunda, we can see. Even in case of fruit vendor lady, we all know the pastime from Vrindavan, how the fruit vendor lady, she came to Vrindavan to actually give out fruits. And that time, there comes a verse in Srimad Bhagvatam, 10th canto. She actually tells, Krinihi go phalani. Anyone wants to purchase the fruits in Vrindavan? O Vrajavasis? It comes like that. I think it was 10th canto, 11th chapter, text 10. Krinihi go phalani. If you search, you'll get that, the first line of that. So there she asks, and that time Krishna comes. So then Krishna wants some fruits. So then he says, I want these fruits. And actually she fills Krishna's hand with fruits. And it's interesting to note that those days, since there was a barter system, no phone pay or Google Pay, so then Krishna bought in the grains from his house. And on the way, while he was bringing, only most of the grains fell in between his hand. And by the time he came to fruit vendor lady, it was almost like nothing. But she had so much of devotion to Krishna. She said, you are so beautiful. I don't want anything from you. Just take these fruits. And she filled Krishna's hands with fruits. Now, when she went back, and her fruits all were empty. And when she went back in the basket, she kept the basket down. She realized that it was completely filled with diamonds and rubies. And she was not happy about it. She was like, Krishna, you cheated me. I came to serve you, and you gave me some jewels and sent me back. So she actually kept those jewels aside, and she again came next day with fruits. And then again next day, she actually asked Krishna, would you please take some fruits? And Krishna says, see, my nature is, if I take something from you, surely I should give you something. That is Krishna. See, he will never just take something from a devotee and keep in his pocket. He will always see that how I can serve the devotee. Krishna is very, very eager to serve his devotee, and devotee is very, very eager to serve Krishna. Always there is a competition between service also, we will see that. So now, in case of Krishna, he wanted to give something to the fruit vendor lady. Then the fruit vendor lady asked him that, I don't want anything from you. Just once, can you call me Maya? Can you call me as mother? Like that she asked. Then Krishna says, sure. Nothing big about it. Maya. And then Krishna called her as mother. And that time only Yashoda Mata came. And then she handed Krishna to Yashoda Mata and said, thank you very much. And she went back dancing, that actually Krishna called me as his mother. So just by establishing sambandha with Krishna, she was very, very happy. That is the greatness. When we establish sambandha with Krishna, we actually get the happiness of the soul. Satchid Ananda, in this world, the living entity tries to find happiness here, in this thing, in this object, in this thing, but he's not satisfied. But all that satisfaction reaches a culmination, or even it increases exponentially when he meets or when he serves Krishna. That is the greatness of serving Krishna. And Krishna, in the second time I was mentioning that when she came with the fruits, Krishna was not hungry. See, Krishna provides food for 8.4 million species, correct? So he is not hungry. But he was hungry for the devotion of his devotee. And that's why he again went to the fruit vendor lady. That was one more detail and what we can see. And the Lord never gets, angry with his devotees. Even though the devotee may be sometimes doing some pastimes for the Lord only. Like say, for example, once there was the Lord there was this Radharani, this was in Vrindavan. Radharani was actually serving Durvasa Muni. We know that Durvasa Muni is not a personality who is so very easy to please. Not everyone takes that audacity to serve him that way. So Radharani was actually serving Durvasa Muni, and she got the benediction. We know that. At one more instance, Radharani was actually serving Narad Muni also. So then Krishna came. He said, "What is Narad Muni doing here?" So then she said, "Actually, he's a saint. He has come here. I want to serve him." Then Krishna said, "Be careful. He's a very notorious person. He can do anything, anytime. He's very notorious in terms of performing the pastimes. That way." So then he says, "Nothing. He was just serving." So now what happens? Krishna that day was in a very, very jolly mood. He was very happy. There was a Julan Yatra. So we celebrate Julan Yatra here. So there was a Julan Yatra actually in Vrindavan that time. And when Krishna was very happy, generally when you are very happy, what do you do? I mean, like say when we give out something. So then Krishna was asking, Narad Muni, ask for any benediction. Then Narad Muni said, when time comes, I will ask. So then he was taking, after his prasad, Narad Muni asked, can you, Julan Yatra, instead of Radharani, can you take, Lalita and then have a Julan Yatra? Said, sure, that's fine. Benediction? Granted. Then the Lord actually went and told Lalita that, can you please come for the Julan Yatra? She said, hey, Radharani is there. How can I come? He said, no. Narad Muni has requested just to please Narad Muni. He is my devotee. I want to please him. And said, okay, fine. Then they sat for Julan Yatra. Now Radharani was there in her place getting ready. Now Narad Muni goes to Radharani and says, why you are getting ready? He said, there's a Julan Yatra, no? He said, Julan Yatra already started. And there is someone else sitting in the Julan. I said, really? I said, no one is waiting for you. There is no use of getting ready like this, Then she was like, really? She started crying. Then Radharani went into Man. We know that, Man Leela. And then Krishna comes. It's been quite a bit of time that Radharani has not come. So Krishna goes back there and then he sees Radharani crying. He says, why are you crying? He said, I know everything. Narad Muni told me everything, you don't, no one likes me, I'm actually, not fit for anything that way. Actually, in the spiritual world, how it is, Radharani is actually very, very happy when Lalita Sakhi, even like any other devotee also plays with the Lord. And the other devotee also is very happy when when Radharani sits. In spiritual world, there is no envy of this world. We see, we see that pastime where in 10th canto, that photo comes, where the Gopas are running behind Krishna. How many of you have seen that photo? Gopas are running behind Krishna. So there, it's very interesting to know, Acharya is right, when the Gopas are running behind Krishna, what is their mood? I will run faster than this Gopa. Why? Because I will inspire the other Gopa to run faster than me so that he can touch Krishna first. That is the mood in the spiritual world. That is non-envy. So this is how the devotees deal with this. Coming back to this pastime, then when Radharani gets to know about the actual thing, then she laughs, So in this case, again, Krishna did not get angry at Narada. We can actually see that. Narad Muni is very amazing personality. He accelerates the devotion service of many people. There's one more pastime. I remember there's one person, his name was Mahendra. So once, there were a lot of sages standing in a line, And that time, this Mahendra, this person, he actually offers obeisance to them one by one. And just before he offers obeisances to Vishwamitra Muni, Narad Muni stops him. I said, hey, don't do it. It's fine. Leave him. Offer obeisance to the next one. I said, okay, fine. Now this was observed by Vishwamitra Muni. How come he did not offer obeisances to me? So he went and told Lord Ram, Ram, you know what? I said, Lord Ram, what happened? He said, this Mahendra did not offer obeisances to me. Really? He did not offer obeisances to Vishwamitra, to yourself. What should we do? Tell me. Put him behind the bars right away? I said, no. Bars and all is too less punishment. You have killed so many asuras with your bows and arrows. Kill him. I said, Lord Ram says, okay, done. We will, kill him. Tomorrow morning, we'll actually kill him. Now this Mahendra, he gets to know about this. Tomorrow Lord Ram is going to kill me. And we know, till now, our Lord Ram's arrow has never missed the target. So then he goes to another saintly personality and says, you know what, I'm going to die tomorrow. He said, what happened? It's like Lord Ram is going to fire an arrow at me. He says, I'll tell you a solution. Go to a person who is very, very dear to Lord Ram and ask him to help you. And who is that person? We know that. Hanuman is the one who is very, very dear to the Lord. So when he goes to Hanuman, Hanuman, please, I want some help. Hanuman says, what happened? Someone is going to kill me tomorrow. Really? Who's going to kill you? I'm ready to fight anyone. I'll help you. I'm your friend, Now, Mahendra, just at the end of Hanuman's this dialogue, he says, who's that person? He's Lord Ram. He says, Hanuman says, Bapre, I actually spelled out. And see, those days, the moment you spell out something from your mouth, it's like you actually stick to your words. Yeah. So then he was thinking, Lord Ram is there. How will I fight him? But then when Lord Ram was next day about to fire the arrow, Hanuman came in front of him and Hanuman started chanting the names of Lord Ram. Ram, 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 Ram. And when Lord Ram saw that Hanuman was chanting his name, that time he fired the arrow and all the arrows which were supposed to go to this Mahendra actually were taken by the Gada of Hanuman. That is the power of the holy name of the Lord. When it was chanted in a proper submissive mood by Hanuman, yeah. And that time Narada comes again. Hey, Mahendra, go and catch from behind you, go, arrows are coming, go and catch the feet of Vishwamitra Muni. You will get saved. So, Arre, pehle to you told me not to offer obeisances. Now you're telling to catch his feet at this moment when battle is going on. He says, no, go immediately. So he goes from behind, catches the feet of Vishwamitra Muni, and then Vishwamitra Muni, then he says, Lord Ram, fine, forgive him, So we can see that Narad Muni, and that night Mahendra tells Narad Muni that I was not able to sleep, Narad Muni said, yeah, that's why I want to accelerate your devotional service. That's why I did this. So we can see that the Lord and his devotees are very, very amazing dealings. And the devotees are very, very eager to serve the Lord. This is what we can see from this. So we have an acronym to remember how the Lord, what are the dealings between Lord and devotees. Beta acronym, BETA. What is that? B, business. What is the first business? Business intends that the Lord has no business with the devotee, but his only business is what? To exchange love with his devotees. That is the only. Like say, for example, we can see in case of Madhavendra Puri, when that day Madhavendra Puri was there in the town, and then he actually stole kheer for his devotee. And the Lord came in the dream of Madhavendra Puri and told, I want Chandan, go to Nilachal. So the Madhavendra Puri actually went walking to get Chandan. We can see how the Lord exchanges love with his devotees. That's the first thing. What is it? B, business is what? Only business, to exchange love. E is what? The Lord empowers his devotee. We can see that in case of the Lord and his devotees, like Hanuman, he was empowered to jump to Lanka and even burn Lord Ravan's Lanka. We can see that. When Krishna was there in this, Krishna was physically performing his pastimes, that time, he tried to pacify Yudhishthira Maharaj by his words after the battle. Was he successful? First canto, Bhagavatam, Prabhupada beautifully writes that Paramatma from within was telling Yudhishthira Maharaj, don't get convinced. And Krishna from without, as externally was telling, come on, it's fine. So, but then, why was this happening? Because Krishna wanted to give the credit to whom? Bhishma Dev. So then he empowered Bhishma Dev to actually instruct Yudhishthira Maharaj. We can see this. So Krishna empowers his devotees. First is business exchanging love. Second is empowering his devotees. And third thing is what? T, teacher. The Lord is very fond of teaching the right lessons to his devotees. We can see that in case of when he came as Krishna, he taught Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. And even till now we are reading Bhagavad Gita and learning from it. So he's a prolific teacher, yeah. And at the end is what? The last one is a little interesting or most interesting. He puts his devotee in an awkward situation. What is it? Awkward? Like we can see when Parikshit Maharaj, he was at the fag end of his life, or like say he was a king, very happy. The Lord does not like to see his pure devotees be very comfortable always. Put him in a little awkward situation so that he shows the glory of his pure devotee. See, my devotee, even in this circumstance, he's serving me. Like say, for example, in case of Parikshit Maharaj, when he was bitten, when he got a curse that he will be bitten by a snake, what did he do? Immediately he renounced and he actually heard Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Lord, through Parikshit Maharaj, showed us the importance of hearing Bhagavatam. That same Parikshit Maharaj, who could not control his thirst, or so to say in that pastime for some hours, was able to hear Bhagavatam continuously for 7 days and 7 nights. How is that? That is only by the will of the Lord. We can see that. That is how the Lord actually, put, in case of Prabhupada also we can see, he was there in the chemical laboratory. Krishna was thinking, what my pure devotee is doing in chemical laboratory, So he actually made arrangement in such a way that his chemical laboratory got burnt. But don't worry, this is not done to all devotees. So the Lord does it only to his pure devotees. See, if he, sometimes if he does it to new devotees, then new devotees get scared. Arey, Bapre, if I come close to Lord will take away. So if we have that fear, then Lord will surely not take away. So, but if we are unloyal devotees, then the Lord makes some arrangement so that we can accelerate devotion service. We can see in case of even his own Jayapatak Maharaj, So in 2008 he got a stroke, but till now he's serving. In fact, his service has increased after the stroke. We can see that there was a statistics which was taken that how much he used to travel before and how much travel after. And one of the person servants was telling that we see no difference only. until the liver transplant, and many years. See, no difference. Even at this condition, he's serving. So we can see from these live examples what it means to actually, serve the Lord. So that way we can see how. So why we discussed all this is that we can understand how Krishna is such a fantastic person and what kind of dealings he has with his surrendered devotees, right? And if we actually increase our surrender in our life, we increase our devotion service, which mentioned here in the purport by Shravanam, Kirtanam, the 9 limbs of bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. This is the limbs of bhakti. When we perform, then we actually please the Lord. And in this connection to the translation, when I was reading, I just remembered one person. This is a very interesting personality. He was a disciple of his, many people don't know about him. He was a disciple of his Holiness Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So in 1920s, those days, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was very vigorously preaching. He's called Simha Guru, yeah. So he was very vigorously preaching. So there was one person, his name was Jaga Bandhu. So he was a very wealthy merchant. He came from a very rich family, and unfortunately he did not have any children or successors. But he used to meet many fake sadhus, and he had lost his faith in spirituality. But after he met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the devotees, the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur arranged for a personal meeting with Maharaj, for this Prabhu, Jagabandhu Prabhu. So when he met Maharaj, just after half an hour of discussion, he understood how pure Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is, and he wanted to actually serve Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. And he used to come for his lectures regularly. And after some years, he went to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur and he begged, please, can you give me initiation? He begged. He really wanted to surrender his life to his Guru. Initiation is not just a matter of getting a name, or it's not just a matter of some social prestige, or it is not just a matter of getting some fame and prestige in the society. But actual initiation, the meaning of initiation is that one is ready to surrender his body, mind and words in service of the Guru. The body is no longer one's property. The body is whose property? Guru's property. That is actual meaning of initiation. So he had that spirit of initiation, and he approached his Guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Can you please give me initiation? And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur saw his genuine desire to serve him, and he gave him initiation. And after initiation, his name was Jagabandhu Bhaktiranjan Das. That was his name. Jagabandhu Bhaktiranjan Das. That was the name which Maharaj gave. And he had a lot of wealth. So he asked Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, how can I serve you? Please tell me, can I serve you? Then Maharaj said, no, we have everything. But after he asked 3-4 times, then one thing was at the back of Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's mind. And we are doing a lot of preaching. So he told this Prabhu, we are doing a lot of preaching, but current facility what we have in our temple is very small. When guests come to meet, we don't have any space. It gets filled up on Sundays, we don't have any space. So it will be nice if we can create a facility for devotees to stay and a temple. And for hearing, basically. He didn't tell a temple, he just said, can you please create a facility? Like that he requested. And this Jagabandhu Bhaktiranjan Prabhu made this instruction of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur as his life and soul. And he used each and every penny of his savings, his whole time. Within 2 years, on October 5th, 1930, he actually built a magnificent marble temple. And that was the new Gaudiya Math. And they had big facilities, kitchen, they could cook for hundreds of devotees. And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur always wanted to print many books, He said that the sound of the printing press, that is like, the kirtanam for me. I feel very nice when I hear the sound of the printing of the glories of the Lord, that way he said. So he established the printing press and all that thing. And this Prabhu, who built the whole temple, gave his entire life savings for his spiritual master, he just in one corner of a temple he was staying, and just rendering some service. Didn't expect any post, any position, just happy, humble, menial servant of his Guru Maharaj. And unfortunately, after just within 1.5 months of the temple opening, on November 19th, he left his body. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was crying. And he said that his disappearance should be celebrated in Gaudiya Math. And till now, they celebrate his disappearance on his sthiti, So, and what he had, just before he left his body, he wrote a very nice letter to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. I would like to read that letter. It's just a short letter, very beautiful and instructive letter. After he did so much for his Guru Maharaj, And so much for the mission of his Guru Maharaj. This is what he wrote. Let us see what he wrote. What can I do to you, Gurudev? The wealth I can give you is yours only. You are my actual treasure and I belong to you. By giving you your property, I have nothing to lose. By giving you what belongs to you, I become yours. So like that he had written a letter to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. So this was actually the spirit of surrender. Even in our own movement we can see how Jayanand Prabhu, he used to actually drive taxis and then give all of his savings to the temple, do so much of service. And Rath Yatra, even now every time we celebrate Rath Yatra, the Rath Yatra is not complete without a photo of Jayanand Prabhu and without his blessings. Yeah, he was the first person who pleased Prabhupada so much by his service. And that's why even apparently he happened to, go back before Prabhupada. And that's when Prabhupada was told that every year he should celebrate his disappearance. He was one of the very amazing acharyas that we also celebrate his disappearance even now. Yeah, so that is the greatness of Jayanand Prabhu. We can actually see that. And even when a disciple has an immense desire to serve the Guru, the Guru uses the disciple in such a way that people cannot, no ordinary man cannot fathom also. For example, we know, all of us know His Holiness Bhaktitirth Swami Maharaj. We might have heard many pastimes. One such pastime I am able to recollect is, once he was a very prolific book distributor. Even those days, in 1970s and all, the entire edition of Bhagvatam had not come out. So, but he would go to professors and he would get standing orders of Prabhupada books. Which means what? Even before the next Bhagavatam edition is going to come, he has actually got appointments so that people could actually take those books after it come. That kind of book distributor he was. So one day he was distributing books, and that time, he saw that one person throughout the day was following him when he was distributing the books. Eventually he understood who was that person. He was a KGB agent. And then after some time he started running behind Maharaj. Then Maharaj also was a very fast runner. So Maharaj also started running. Along with the Prabhupada books, Maharaj was running. Maharaj took a left, he also took a left. Maharaj went straight, he also went straight. Then Maharaj understood, I have to speed up, otherwise he will catch me now. Then Maharaj immediately ran and then took a sharp left and then entered a room. And this person missed, he went ahead. So now, that was a university, and in that university there was one of the top professors in that room. Amazingly, just before entering the room, he saw the name of the professor. It is written in the name at the entrance. So he saw, and then he closed the door. He asked, "You are so and so professor?" He said, Yeah. And then he said, "I have an appointment with you now." He said, "I don't know about the appointment at all." He said, No, I came from far by just to meet you. I have an appointment with you. He said, "I am not aware of any appointment. Sorry, sir." He said, "I have told your secretary about the appointment." He said, "Really? But she didn't tell me anything." He said, "That is all problem between you both, but now I have come. So now can we have 10-15 minutes? And I said, "Okay." And then he just spoke to that professor for 10-15 minutes. And within 10-15 minutes, that professor purchased a whole set of all Prabhupada books. So that was Bhaktitirth Maharaj. His ardent desire to serve the Guru was so much, his surrender was so much that Krishna acts, through that disciple. That is what we can see. Even in case of Prabhupada, I'll just tell just one last pastime and we will end here. So Prabhupada was traveling in an air flight, and somehow that time he had not carried some journey prasad or something. So he was with some devotees. So that time, this was told by Shamsundar Prabhu in one of the lectures. So that time what happened, in the flight, like those days you get some kurmara, without onion, garlic or things like that. So then Prabhupada asked for it. He said, "Give me that kurmara," like that he asked. Then the air hostess bought that kurmara. And then Prabhupada, he offered it and he was taking that. And Shamsundar Prabhu was saying, okay, Prabhupada is taking. And that air hostess comes. And she asks, and see, when Prabhupada is taking that kurmara, generally that's crispy stuff, so that sound is coming. Like when you're chewing something crispy, the sound comes, So that plane was a little small. So entire plane, the sound was coming of Prabhupada taking that kurmara, that way. And this air hostess comes to Prabhupada, and then she says, that seems to be, and she had not apparently tasted that, what she was serving, When she puts hand directly in front of Prabhupada in that kurmara, and she takes that. Shamsundar Prabhu is seeing like this. What the audacity, I cannot dare to do like that. My spiritual master is there, I cannot take. But she took that. And she took and then she continued. 25 years down the line, When Shamsundar Prabhu came to a temple in London, this Mataji, who was air hostess before, she comes to Shamsundar Prabhu and asks, "Do you remember me? You are in a flight with Srila Prabhupada." He says, I traveled in a lot of flight. Which flight? She says, Kurmura. He says, yeah, I can never forget that you had put hand in the, Mahaprasad of Prabhupada. She says, now I am an initiated devotee of His Holiness Jayapatak Maharaj. So we can see the power of Prabhupada's Mahaprasad. Any pure devotee is Mahaprasad. Generally we hear, like say Ramanacharya's Mahaprasad is there, it fell in river, fish got liberated. We hear those also. But even our own Sampradaya or even our dear Sri Prabhupada, many current Acharyas, so many pastimes are there. So this happens when, how was Prabhupada able to do that? That was because of his surrender onto the lotus feet of Krishna. So this is what, so in essence, what were we discussing today? We were discussing that how Krishna, the dealings between Krishna and his devotees are fantastic. And we saw many pastimes of how Krishna deals with his devotees and how devotees deal with Krishna. And we saw how Krishna is samam bonam and how all of his limbs are completely divine and any activity he does is completely pure and he just has a desire just to serve his devotees. Nothing personal for him. And any service done to Krishna, he never forgets. Even if you have done service and you have forgotten, Krishna will wake you up and give mercy. That is, we saw in case of Muchukunda. And then we also saw how in case of the fruit vendor lady, Krishna gave service. And we saw BETA. What is that? B is for, only business of Krishna is what? To exchange love with his devotees. E is what? Empowerment. Krishna empowers his devotees. T is what? Krishna is a fantastic teacher. And A is what? He puts his devotees in awkward situations sometimes, and so that it increases the rasa. So then, and we also saw that how if we surrender onto Krishna through the Guru Parampara by actually surrendering onto our spiritual masters, sincerely serving them without any service does not mean just going and doing something to someone. Service is unmotivated, uninterrupted, and unconditional. That is actual service. The word service is actually misused in the outside sector also. They say we are providing you service. But the service stops the moment, like say if you are not recharging your phone, they say your services are stopped because you have not paid or something like that. So that is not a service. That is actual service is what? Actually unconditional. We can see with Krishna and his devotees. Yeah. So we can also have that with Krishna. He's such a fantastic personality, and we can actually by following the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas and our superiors, we can get close to Krishna in this lifetime and go back to Godhead and become a pure devotee in this lifetime. So I'd like to thank all of you very much for your patient and kind attention. And if you have any question, then one question we can take. If not, it's already time.
When this I used to get the orders, training orders, so the professor used to pay directly before even getting.
Correct. That's the meaning of standing order, huh? That you actually take it before. No, that detail you have to check, but it's like he actually used to take, at least I've heard that he used to take money for it. Now that full money or partial money, I have to check that, but he used to take standing order. That's the meaning of standing order. Standing order does not mean, okay, like only take the receipt and then later you can give money. He actually used to take, at least I heard, a part of money or some money for service of Krishna. Okay, so thank you very much. If we have exceeded the time, I think we may not sing the song. So Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Let us thank His Grace VipinVihari Vrajesh Prabhu for taking out his valuable time and sharing such deep wisdom placed into this verse of Bhagavatam. One time, loudly chanting the Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Also, please join for the Nelmangala Rath Yatra. They are making even bus arrangements and all. You can get details from the reception also. Hare Krishna. Thank you.